Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars Issue 27, subtitled The Good People, which was written by Charles Soule with art by Andreas Qi'ra and was released on September 7th, 2022, which I thought it was an alright issue. It picks up right where the last one ended off with these Crimson Dawn spies named Melton and Bevelin who were working on the Death Star 2 and therefore know about it. And we saw them escape with their children aboard the shuttle of this Major Sharon, which I'd assume they killed her. But in this issue, we see them flying away, but they get called up by the Death Star's comm team or whatever, because Moff Qi'ra wants to speak with that Major Sharon about her visit to the space station. But obviously she's not around anymore. And so we see the Crimson Dawn spies have to come up with a lie. They say that she's not available right now because she's currently on a call from Coruscant, which Qi'ra and the Imperials pick up on that lie, as communication to other systems isn't allowed near the Death Star 2. And so they send TIEs after them. And so we see Melton use these rebel transmission codes he knows about because the Empire sliced into it and learned about them, which he calls it up, and we see a rebel base on the planet Postil, where we see the character Tzingo Weems answer Melton's call, which Weems was the one minor character from Rogue One who found out from a transmission about, the titular Rebel Squad's attack on Scarif and then alerts Mon Mothma of it. So I liked having him pick up a transmission on stuff about the Death Star 2, but Melton tells him that they have high-level classified info about the Empire and whatnot, and they'll give it in return for hyperspace coordinates and somewhere safe to stay, which the rebels respond by saying they're going to have to kind of run it up the chain before giving anything away, because they know the transmission is coming from old rebel transmission codes. But Melton tries to plead, saying that they don't have any time for that, but the rebels hang up. And so with how much time left, Melton just brings up the nav computer and just uses some already programmed hyperspace coordinates and jumps to them, which we do get a scene at the rebel fleet where we see Lando in the transmission room with some of the comm people, and we see one of them is talking with Weems about that distress call, which Lando overhears it and says that's an obvious trap, which I guess Lando is there in the transmission room because Lobot is hooked up doing some transmission stuff. But we see those comm people ask Lando why he thinks it's a trap, which he says it's too good to be true, and if it's not true, it's a lie. But the comm people decide that they should still pass it up the chain to General Syndulla. But we then see the Crimson Dawn spies arrive on this moon called Dolim, I don't know how to pronounce it, which they once again run into some TIE fighters, as the Imperials there have been alerted of the Lambda shuttle, and so they once again have to escape. But this time they do take out some of the TIEs. But we see Melton looking through the nav computer for another place to jump to, which the best place he can find is Coruscant. And so they jump to Coruscant, and then once there they get into the cockpit of the Lambda shuttle and eject it, as I guess that's the escape pod for it. But we see them crash land on Coruscant. I think the level was 2685, which they get out and try to ask the civilians who've surrounded the cockpit for help. But some Imperial authorities start to arrive, so the Crimson Dawn spies have to run away, which the issue ends with Hera Syndulla in a meeting with several rebellion people going through some intelligence hits they've acquired, which we see someone ask about the fifth one, which Hera goes over it and asks that person if something stands out about it, which we see that person is Luke, which he just says that he has a good feeling about it. It seems like he'll kind of follow the trail of it. But like I said, that's where it ends. Like I said, I thought it was an alright issue. I like the ending there with Luke and the tease of the next issue. And I like the transmission stuff going on. But everything with the Crimson Dawn spies, I just found to be alright. I'm just more into the Rebels finding out about the intel they have more than the characters themselves. So yeah, but my grade for this issue is going to be a B-. So yeah, but that's going to be it for this one. I forget what the next comic review will be, but eventually I'll do issue 28 of this series. But you can check out my reviews on all the other comics and whatnot and everything else I do, but even Star Wars review. I'll catch you guys in the next one.